Welcome to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprofit.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everybody to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And today we have another, I'm just going to say 5-minute podcast, even though it's not going to be exactly 5 minutes. I think it's the name I keep going with. Another 5-minute podcast. Where basically me and Jeff take some players, and they're players that are different in our ranks.
Usually very close to one another.
They're close, but we might have enough of an opinion on one or the other.
So I have one ranked slightly ahead. Usually this one is just going to be, we have them flip-flopped.
Yep. And that's it. And this is AJ Green versus Dez Bryant. I have AJ 5th, Dez 6th. You have Dez 5th, AJ 6th. And actually, your AJ rank is very in line with everybody. Dez, I think we actually have ranked higher than consensus. It feels like by a little bit,
not much.
But more people are sold on AJ, so I win.
Yeah,
that was a good podcast.
Done.
Right? But why is it Dez over AJ? So if you're there and it's Dez versus AJ, you are picking Dez every time and not even hesitating, or are you just?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I would go that far.
Any hesitation?
I think Dez and AJ are incredibly similar.
Same age.
Yeah, same age. I think they really are the same player. They really can do it all. They both have some size and speed, and and they both were coming off injuries last year.
Yep.
So it's very, very interesting. I would go Bryant. I hedge my bet that way, if you will. The reason, I mean, you can say, look at last year, and it's kind of rough. But even last year, the only reason I bring up last year is because he has a new quarterback, right? Dak instead of Romo. But even last year when he came in and he played, I almost have to air quote it because played 13 games, even though he was only healthy for a handful of them, really. He still had 800 yards and 8 TDs. And that's, you know what I mean? So that's still good production with Prescott in there. And the year before that, he battled with injuries as well. And then he also had this whole weird thing about franchise tag and his deal. So this is the first year that supposedly he's completely healthy in the past two. And before that, what he did was anywhere from 1,380 yards, then 1,230, then 1,320. And each year of those, he outproduced AJ Green in TDs.
I'm going to cut you off.
Right, 12, 13,
That's my
16.
issue with him. The touchdowns aren't coming back. Dak Prescott isn't throwing the touchdowns like Tony Romo threw the touchdowns. Tony Romo is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott today.
I like that. I have no problem with that.
I'm a Romo
guy.
I've been a Romo guy. Dak's okay. I'm come around on Dak a little bit, but Zeke's there now. Zeke's getting those touchdowns. Those touchdowns that once went to Dez are not going to Dez anymore. Over the last, 22 games, Dez only has 81 catches over the last 22 games.
Okay, yeah, but also that's injury heavy.
Yeah, it's 22 games and he only has 81 catches.
22 games.
Okay, it's the last 2 seasons, if anybody's wondering. Yeah. It's the last 2 seasons.
Which he played 9 games.
And he had about 1,200 yards, but that's it, over 22 games. Only 11 touchdowns. Okay, those are his fine stats. I have him ranked 6th. I can't go that crazy. I think he's a good player. I honestly, though, I don't think the touchdowns are coming back. That is legitimately what it is. I think his actual stats could be similar. 80-some catches up to 90, 1,200, 1,300 yards. Sure, I'm not going to dispute that could come back. I think it will. I don't think the touchdowns will.
That's true. AJ Green, never been over 11 touchdowns, right? I think he could. He has but he's had Dalton the whole time. They have John Brown. They have Eifert. So I think that could cut into his TDs as well. And we say that he can't go back up there, but Dez Bryant, 13 games, still had 8 touchdowns.
Yep.
So even if he played all 16, I think it's pretty safe to say he'll get double digits. So, and this is why I rank them so closely. I think their numbers are going to be very, very close. I just tend to think Dez has a little bit of a higher ceiling, and that's, once again, it's very, very tough. But that's where I would go.
So if AJ had played all year last year, his stats projected were about 105 catches, 1,500 yards. I'm not making that up.
Yeah,
those were his projected over 16.
He was going.
Dez had good projected over 16, but they didn't have the stats, the catches. That's legitimate. 105 and 1,500. What is what he was going after?
He only played in 10 games, and he almost got to 1,000 yards. It was insane, but he only had 4 touchdowns. And that's the weird thing about him. It really, with Dalton, you just never know. You can make you can make that prediction that he's going to go for another 11 touchdowns and even up that, kind of return to 2013 when he had 1,400 yards. Very doable. So could I be wrong? This one is one where I legitimately, it would be a gut check right at the end, and I would probably click on Dez, but maybe my finger would slip.
That's why I win, because I'm not hesitating.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's it.
That's a tough one.
Jeff hesitates slightly. I hesitate not at all. So it's AJ. I win.
That's true.
No, but I like both players, and they're both fine. I think Dez will bounce back. Honestly, I don't know what it is about Dak Prescott that I'm not 100% sold on yet. And this is people.
I don't blame you though. Sophomore season.
And I think that's more what it comes down to me with this. It's more the Dak thing. I just don't know. And Zeke too. I mean, I guess since he does have Mixon now, maybe they'll run a little more.
And John Brown and Eifert. I mean, they
John
got
Brown. Get traded. John Ross.
And Eifert healthy.
John Ross. Yeah, I see John Ross.
I don't see him taking away targets, but there is a lot more that added to that one.
Yep.
You know exactly what's on Dallas now, exactly what's last year, but he'll actually get a full season.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
AJ versus Dez. Yep. We'll see what happens when it actually comes to draft time.
I know. I think people will side with you, but
we'll see.
I hold strong.
Consensus wise, AJ is about 5th. Dez is about 9th right now.
Yeah.
So that's about where they're at.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
That'll be it for today's show. We'll talk to you guys next time.